Hello there, it's Diorama Don here. Welcome everybody. Before I forget, please subscribe to the channel. Click that subscribe button and that like button and you will be informed when new videos come along. My previous video was of this horse cart that I made that you would see quite a lot of in northern France, mid-40s, and also wooden barrels. There was a lot of stuff transported by wooden barrels, so this scene wouldn't go amiss on any diorama that you make. So it took me a while to get the dimensions and how to actually make them, but the following video will show you exactly how I went about making them. So I'm using 3/4 thick polystyrene to start with. By the time we've cut two pieces and put one on top of the other, it will give us the right height then for 1/35 scale. So we need two pieces 1 1/4 inch square or 32mm square. So two pieces like that, stick them together, make sure they're quite square with each other, like so, and then we can hot glue them together. Put the hot glue on one side and very quickly disperse it around both sides of the polystyrene, and then it will stick like that. That's quite permanent. So two pieces like that. Then we need 2mm card. Thinner card would be okay. In fact, 2mm is actually too thick. So 1.5mm, so about two pieces of cornflake packet stuck together will give you about 1 inch and a 1.5mm thickness. But I'm using 2mm. So we need two circles, 7/16 radius. So set your compasses to 7/16 or 12mm, and we need two circles. Then stick them on the top and the bottom of your polystyrene like that. Okay, so that's what you should have now. Then we need a large, the outside circle. So we've got the one dimension of 2.25 inches. Is that what it was? I can't remember now. 1.25 inches, yes, that way and that way. But of course it's not 1.25 inches that way. So we need to cut that distance. I'm going to be able to do it over the camera like that. So we've got a circle like that, or pretty much a little bit out there. So that's what that's what we want. So we've got our pretty much our outside circle. Then using this cardboard as your guideline, so you keep your knife right up against the cardboard, then just cut away at an angle all the way around like that. Not too deep an angle, so you'll yeah. So you've got that shape like that, and then again the other side. Make sure you keep up against the, the cardboard. Right. So it's looking slowly like a barrel shape. Now it doesn't take much with a piece of sandpaper to take away your material. So don't go crazy. Just ease it round just to take all the sharp edges off, really, Once the sharp edges have gone, then it'll be pretty much barrel shaped. This is going to take a couple of minutes, so I'll carry on doing this and come back. Okay, that took me 3 minutes, if that, just to get the barrel shape like that. Okay, now you could, if you wanted, just pick out the shape of the pieces that make up the barrel. I don't know what they'd be called, the slats. You could mark them out into the polystyrene, I suppose, but I think what I do next is a better finish. Okay, so again, 2mm cardboard, but preferably thinner. We need to cut that to 3 3/4 long. Okay, and by 1 3/4 inches, that way. And then mark out 1/4 inch all the way along. So we've got 15 sections of 1/4 inch wide. So 1 3/4 inches, 3 3/4, 1/4 inch. Then mark 1/2 inch in from each side, like that, and then cut a V shape on both sides all the way along. Okay, when we've got that, then cut each piece, so we've got 15 pieces like that. That's what we'll end up with, like that. So they're just slightly tapered on the ends, like so. And then with a same diameter kind of, well, I'm using this, just wrap that round like so, and that will give you the shape then of each slat to go around the barrel. So then with a hot melt glue, hold it in the middle of there, a bead of glue all the way along there, and then stick that on there, and it will stick to it. Okay, and then it will take 15 pieces to go all the way around, and I think that will look better than just making a groove into the polystyrene. So I'll stick those on, I'll stick them all on, and we'll see what it looks like then. Okay, so I've stuck my slats all the way around now. There is a slight gap, but don't worry about those too much. As long as we've got the shape, the circle at the top, and the lip as well, where the top just sits down inside a bit. But basically, that's the shape that we want. I didn't mention when you cut these out, it needs to be about 1/2 millimeter either side of this line. Where are we? So when you're cutting, about 1/2 millimeter either side, so you've got about 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter gap at the end there, and then just cut that V shape out like so. That will then give you the right shape for the barrel. So what I think now we'll do, I've got some wall filler with a little bit of water added, and that will fill in these gaps, but not to get rid of the definition of each slat. We want to see what it's actually made up of. It doesn't matter what this is like, because when it's dry we can sand it nice and smooth, and it will get rid of the cardboard, because cardboard is not a great thing to have to paint. So once this is on and dry, then it'll be well, we'll be able to paint the filler rather than the cardboard, if you know what I mean. Okay, so go all the way around with this. Doesn't need to be too much, just to fill in those gaps a little bit. Although you would probably see a bit of a gap anyway in a real barrel. So that kind of effect. So when that's dry, I'll give that as a sanding so it's nice and smooth, and then we can paint it. And of course we need some very thin card then, well, thin card and thinly cut, probably about 1/8 of an inch, to make the banding around the barrel. But I'll do this first, and then we'll put the banding on and see what kind of colour we can make them. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. So there we are. I put the rest of the panels in and gave it that coat of wall filler just to fill in the odd little gaps. When that was dry, I gave it a sanding just to smooth it off. Then I sprayed with a can of black car spray, black, then just a fine mist of red oxide over the top just to give it a bit of contrast. Then when that was dry, just a white dry brushing. Okay, and then when all that was dry, then very thin card for these bandings around here, which I sprayed silver, and then a light spray of red oxide over the top just to show the rusting, slight rusting. So there we are, a wooden barrel. I've got 4 of them. There we go. So it's just an idea. I know you can buy them quite readily, but not so much fun as making them. So okay, there we are. That's how I make my barrels. So if you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel. There are lots more videos to come, and a lot of other videos that I've already done. So please subscribe, click that like button, and I'll be back with something new, and I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, happy modelling.